Welcome to Cinema's Underbelly, the channel where we dive into the deepest, darkest trenches of the underground to analyze and review the most obscure, obscene, and controversial films that cinema has to offer. I'm your host, Jonathan Doe, and today we will be reviewing the elusive Sadi-Scream series. The Sadi-Scream series is a collection of erotic splatter films, all released in 2007 by the Japanese distribution company Zeus. The series consists of 5 volumes in total, all fairly short in duration, and all clearly low-budget productions. The series has also never received official distribution outside of its native country, resulting in the films being untranslated with no English subtitles, creating somewhat of a guessing game when it comes to deciphering what exactly the plot might be for any given entry in the series. Essentially, all 5 volumes focus on various young women who find themselves in compromising positions where they are typically tortured and murdered. The first entry in the series centers on a young TV reporter who is sent to investigate an urban legend of a shop that disposes of dead human bodies. Her hope for a lead results in her finding herself, along with several of her colleagues, tied up in an underground torture dungeon where she is ultimately sexually abused and butchered. The second entry in the series focuses on a young FBI agent who wakes up in a dark basement, bound in chains with a steel trap fixed around her head. Following the exact same formula as the American Saw franchise, the woman is presented with a message played on a nearby television, where she is instructed to engage in various forms of self-harm in order to access puzzle pieces that she can use in an effort to escape. An endeavor that in the end is obviously thwarted, as the film predictably ends with the woman being tortured and killed. Sadi-Scream Volume 3 is about a young girl named Kumi and her college boyfriend Shada. Kumi starts suffering from horrifying nightmares, and shortly after, Shada finds a mysterious DVD in the tray of a vending machine. After taking it home, the couple decides to view the DVD together, and are shocked to see Kumi's nightmares playing out on the screen. As the lines blur between dream and reality, the film leads up to the graphic demise of Kumi as her nightmares finally get to her. After rewatching the 4th entry in the series, its plot is still quite spotty for me in regards to what actually occurs before the sex turns unconsensual and the blood starts to flow freely. A man sitting at a park finds a severed human hand. He then, for some reason, finds himself in an apartment with a beautiful and promiscuous woman who begins to perform fellatio on him before they are interrupted by an older, thuggish-looking man who enters the apartment. The two of them are caught, and then the remainder of the film focuses on this thuggish man sexually abusing and ultimately killing this young woman. The last entry in the series has very little plot and cuts right to the chase, depicting a woman being held captive by a man wearing a bunny mask. The remainder of the film focuses on the woman being tortured and ultimately murdered. This is the only entry in the series that contains no sexually explicit content, but still is a feature that I think Western audiences can enjoy because its plot is thin enough that the absence of subtitles is essentially irrelevant. The Sadi-Scream collection has been compared to the better known and more infamous Guinea Pig series, and though I somewhat understand why the comparison has been made, at second glance it seems that the only significant similarities that the two series hold is that they are both splatter collections originating from Japan. Comparatively, the Guinea Pig series varies greatly from feature to feature, ranging from pseudo-snuff to black comedy to surreal dark fantasy. The Sadi-Scream collection, however, is much more formulaic, instead focusing on generally the same plot structures and themes. Specifically, an attractive woman tries to solve an issue presented to her and gets tortured and killed for it. Additionally, the Guinea Pig series relied on no sexual violence to shock its audiences, whereas the Sadi-Scream collection teeters into the realm of erotic fetishism quite a bit, which is not a criticism, but merely a noticeable division between the two franchises. In regards to Sadi-Scream, if I were going to compare this series to anything, I would say it more resembles the 1999 feature Muzan-e, or a significantly cheesier cousin to the eccentric Psycho Cinema series. All in all, the Sadi-Scream films are an erotic splatter franchise that were made cheaply and sold quickly. They are 5 films that were all made during the span of 1 year on a shoestring budget, and it shows. You don't need to be a Tom Savini to guess how the practical gore effects were pulled off with these ones. You have probably purchased the same rubber severed hand prop at your local Halloween shop. That said, these films can still be a lot of fun. It just depends on what your expectations are going in. If you walk in expecting the next flower of flesh and blood, you will be sorely disappointed. But if you approach these films with the same enthusiasm as a micro-budget German splatter piece or a 1990s SOV horror, then you may walk out of Sadi-Scream finding yourself pleasantly surprised. As always, thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Till next time, this is Cinema's Underbelly.